All right, welcome to the Burnt or Butter podcast, where we talk about movies every single week, and I'm Stetson.
And I'm Toast.
And this week we're talking about Lee Cronin's The Mummy. And we are on location here at Ann Morrison Park in Boise, Idaho. We're going to be playing a round of 9 holes. Each hole we're going to talk a little bit about the movie, and we're also going to show how bad we are at disc golf.
Let's get it.
All right, here goes the first hole.
Rough. Rough first shot.
Wheels. Not bad. Get there.
Nice. All right, hole 1 is done. We're tied. We both made par. Let's get into the questions here. What did you expect going into this movie?
I feel like I had interesting expectations because Toast and Sammy went and saw this movie without me. As soon as they got out of the movie, they're like, Stetson, you gotta go see this movie. And this literally always happens. Like, every time Toast and Sammy see a movie without me, it's like an amazing movie that they feel I need to go see. And so I was hesitant because looking at the trailer, there was like nothing about this movie that I really wanted to see. It seemed pretty predictable, seemed like the same story that we've seen over and over again, and it just didn't look like it was something I was going to enjoy. And so going into this, I expected to see something different than what I saw in the trailer. And I don't know if I got that.
Yeah, so going into this one, I honestly wasn't super excited about it. I had seen a few mixed reviews already. And so I had actually seen one review where they talked about all the plot holes that they saw. And so I went into it looking for those plot holes. And mostly I felt like the ones that they had mentioned in their review were adequately explained. Like, I felt like they just didn't watch the movie. When I texted you that you needed to go see that movie, I knew that you were going to think, oh, this movie sucks, because they always do this to me. So it was a calculated risk.
Well, I was thinking, actually, this movie has to have something completely different that I was not expecting, because they told me that I needed to see this movie.
Yeah. Mostly I told you needed to see it because I wanted to discuss it. I felt like there were some things that I wanted to talk to you about for an episode that we wouldn't have got if it was me and Sammy on an episode.
All right, well, let's get through hole number 2, and we will talk about this movie after that. Good.
Short.
My God.
Oh, you didn't see that coming?
Never happens, all right?
On a tall cage, too.
Dang. Freaking bird.
Sometimes you got it, you know?
And I got it on film, too. What the heck?
Son of a... Oh, that's a tough turnabout. Wow, imagine if you missed that, too.
Goodness gracious. Holy smokes, what a major turn of events there. That was unfortunate.
Some things are too easy for me. That was a 2-point swing in case you're paying attention. I got a bird, he got a bogue.
Horrible. I'll get it back.
But yeah, the next question is, what themes or ideas do you think the director wanted us to get out of this?
Man, I feel like it's kind of like my biggest miss of this movie, was there was no real connection to the characters for me. I feel like the themes that wanted to be there was like sacrifice, family, you know, and even the sacrifice from the families that are protecting the mummy, you know, of them for 2,000 years sacrificing 83 people up to this point to become the mummy, to, you know, have this demon inside them. I just feel like there wasn't enough in the movie to really like make me care at all.
Yeah, I thought you might say that, and that's why I did a little research. So I listened to an interview with Lee Cronin, and so I know the themes that he wanted to get out of this. Number one,
I feel like that shouldn't count, because if you watch the movie, you should be able to identify the themes without the director telling you what the themes are.
See, but that's not the question. The question isn't what themes did you get. The question is, what themes do you think the director wanted?
I'm talking like you should be able to get the themes from watching the dang movie.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
the director shouldn't. That's like the director explaining a joke after he tries to tell it. It's just not that funny afterwards.
Sometimes it's funnier. So for him, the big themes that he saw were, so like the dad, right? His daughter goes missing on the day that he gets the job offer in New York. For him, for Lee Cronin, that reflected his actual life. He had just come off of, it was the day after the release of Evil Dead Rise, his mom died. And so he wanted to portray, like, even when the best thing that's ever happened to you happens, you can still have the worst thing happen. Another thing that he talked about was the same thing that the Fast and the Furious movies are trying to get. It's about family, you know?
Yeah, but I did not care about this family at all. That's my problem. I knew that it was supposed to be about family, but there was nothing connecting me to any of them. Like, the husbands and wives relationship was just so flat. Like, the most dynamic character in this whole movie was the grandma.
I do think anybody who had more of a personality were the first people to die, right? Like the grandma, who else? There was one other death that I was like, oh yeah, that's also the only person. Oh, the dad. The dad at the very beginning in the Egyptian dad. He was like the one who kept the family together.
Yeah, he like had some like levity to like their serious situation of being these keepers of the demon.
Yeah,
you know,
which I actually loved that opening scene with them, you know, laughing and singing, and then the mom being like, "I have a headache," which again that came around at the end of the movie. Same song, "I have a headache." But anyways, yeah, those were kind of the themes that he had discussed.
All right, let's play hole number 3, and then we'll keep getting into this. Oh my goodness. It was actually a pretty good shot.
Yep, that's about what I expected.
Yeah. Never doubt. Never doubt.
I doubted. What stood out cinematically? Let me start. Lee Cronin and his DP really like split diopter shots. That's where there's like somebody in the background and somebody in the foreground, and they're both in focus. They're using a split diopter, so it's almost like they're using 2 focus points to keep everybody in focus. So it's cool. It looks cool because you can have people in all the frame, you know, taking up the whole frame. Like there's all those shots where somebody's like laying down or crawling away or something. They're super close up front. So it makes the framing really cool.
Yeah, I thought there were some interesting things. I mean, one that really stuck out to us, kind of when we left the movie theater, was at the very beginning where we're hearing the mummy inside of the sarcophagus, like banging, and then it flips into, the finger tapping on the wood, and that wood being, resounding hollow into just, him tapping Morse code. And there was a few different shots like that really made you get drawn into the movie. But there wasn't, like, to me at least, as I was watching it throughout the film, there wasn't anything that really heightened the film besides that transition to me. There was a few shots where I was like, oh, that's cool looking, but it didn't really heighten the scene. It didn't change the scene for me, where I feel like the scene became elevated because of the shot.
I did feel like watching it, there were a lot of shots and compositions that furthered the suspense of the movie. So you had more feeling because of the way it was shot. But I don't think that it necessarily furthered the story that much, other than that one shot of, the flipping and turning it into...
Yeah, and like the gross shots were pretty interesting. I mean, the nail clipping shots were good. The tearing off the skin, and then him like taking the tweezers and peeling the skin to show the hieroglyphics.
Wow, that's a tough word. Hieroglyphics.
Yeah, to show those. And I thought there was interesting ones like that where we zoomed in and we get really hyper focused on a certain activity. But overall, like I said, there's a few shots that were like, oh, that was cool. I really like that style. But nothing that super impressed me.
Yeah, I do feel like back-to-back movies, Faces of Death, there were a lot more shots and I think that this movie used a lot more movement in the shots, where Faces of Death was more static shots.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really like in Faces of Death where they did incorporate the movement. It made it that much more dramatic. There's so much of Faces of Death that when the movement happened, it was a suspenseful, slow, drawn out like exposure, where with this one it was kind of just chaotic.
There were a lot of cuts, and it that's what I'm saying, like it helped add to the feeling of suspense because there was so much going on. But yeah, it was, I wouldn't say that it was like a masterclass of cinematography, but it was interesting to me, and there were definitely some shots that stood out. So.
All right, well, let's see how hole number 4 goes. Dude, it's a good toss.
I told you.
God, I can't freaking throw this disc.
Me and my weak putts. Nice. Hole 4, once again, did not get the bird, but walked away with the par.
He had a good opportunity for it, too. Still the same score. I'm 1 up.
I'm 1 down.
All right. So, question number 4 is, was there a standout performance in the movie? This could be good or bad.
I was thinking about it, and the only one that I can really think of that had an effect on me in any way, really, was Katie. I feel like she's got some horror film chops.
You think so?
I think she did some stuff that was pretty interesting. I mean, her face, for half of the movie, she's making like this catatonic, like one of her eyelids is down, and like, they also did good on the makeup, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of that has to do with the makeup.
Sure.
I'm sure it wasn't very easy to move your face in the mask that they're putting you in.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was definitely some crazy stuff. I mean, especially the way that she spoke. When she did speak, it was creepy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like she could do some more films like this where she's the bad guy and it would work.
Yeah.
Negative standouts?
For me, I feel like I'm like pretty neutral on all of them. Like there wasn't anything that stood out to me as bad, but there wasn't anything that necessarily stood out to me as like really good. There wasn't any performance where I was like, oh wow, they stole the show, and that is award winning in any shape or form. You know, I feel like it was good enough to be believable in the movie, and it made the movie watchable, but there wasn't anything where I was like, wow, they really stood out to me.
They all did the job that they signed on for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get on to hole number 5.
Cinco de Mayo.
Decent throw. Over the river.
Nice little rollback. About the same throw. Crazy.
Golly.
Into the creek.
Oh! That's gonna play well. That's gonna play well.
Boy, you had the right angle on it until it hit that branch. Oh, boy.
Oh, and he's back to even.
That hole was disappointing. I had a wild putt, went right over the camera. Insane.
I'm just gonna make this known that these discs aren't the discs that I normally play with, and so I'm playing with a little bit of a handicap today.
As you always do. All right. Next question is, how was the pacing of this film?
Man, I feel like the pacing actually wasn't too bad. I think my only gripe of the pacing is when we have the investigative period of the movie. It felt like the investigation period really didn't add a ton to the movie in general, and so...
You're talking about the dad's investigation.
Yeah.
Because it was all negated by the actual cops' investigation who actually found the answers.
Yeah. And so it just felt like there were just kind of... I would have rather seen maybe it just be cut out of the movie, and or... we see more in Egypt and kind of understand that side of the movie a little bit better. But other than that, I thought the pacing was okay. I didn't feel like the movie went too long.
Yeah. I'll say the first time I watched it, I felt like the pacing was fine. The second time watching it, where I knew where all the fun spots were coming, it felt slow because I was waiting for those fun spots. Whereas the first time it was all a mystery. You know? So I guess pacing for the first time watch, fine. Pacing for a rewatch, not that great.
A little bit slow. All right, let's move on to hole number 6.
Tough. I stayed away from the water. You hate to see it. Never a doubt.
Dang!
Well, that hole ended about as well as I hoped. Got the par again.
Golly, I'm struggling today. Ended up in the water twice and with a bogue.
And that's usually a hole that he beats me on.
Telling you, these aren't my discs. I'm struggling. So for our next question is, could this movie have been a different genre, or no?
I feel like it had some funny moments. I feel like it could have been like a scary movie vibe. You know?
think so?
I feel like it could have been. Like they'll probably it's kind of Grudge-esque, but not as good.
I think that there could have been a little bit more suspense than horror. Like I feel like they really went into the grossness of everything that they could have, you know, in the movie. But as far as it blending genres or switching around, I don't know. I feel like it was just cookie cutter horror.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to hole number, what is this, 7?
7. Oof.
Where'd that go?
In the water.
Should have been throwing this disc all day. Come on.
Finally figured out how to throw straight.
Of course. On hole number 7.
All I gotta say about that hole is I'm glad this is a friendly game and we're not counting water penalties.
Seriously, I know. I was literally thinking that when we're doing, like, somebody in the comments is gonna be like, "These guys aren't counting water,"
or out of bounds, or any. This is a friendly game.
It's a friendly game.
All right.
We're amateurs. We have a handicap of at least 3.
At least.
Yeah, if not more. Probably more.
Probably more.
I'm not even sure how handicaps work, honestly.
Well, that's because you are.
All right, so for our last question before our ratings is, what didn't work for The Mummy?
Yeah, and I feel like this is your time to shine. I've got a few things, you know, that didn't really work for me, but I'm just gonna let you take it away.
I feel like there was too much of this movie that I just didn't care about. There was so much that by the end of the movie, I was like, ever since having my son, like, a father and kids, like, anything in the movie always gets me and, like, makes me more emotional than it has in the past. And this movie should have done that. Like, the kidnapping was, like, a little bit heart-wrenching. I think that was, like, one of the shining parts of this film was the actual kidnapping, the framing, the, you know, the garden, like her coming up to the fence and, you know, almost like Snow Whiting her, you know, like, and then stealing her and a dad chasing them through the streets. I thought that was one of the better parts of the film. But then past that, we lose all connection to the feeling of the movie. Like, we don't get to see the husband and the wife argue, you know, everything's alluded to it. Like, he got his job, but he didn't take it. They end up back at the mom's. Like, there's resentment there. We have one conversation about the resentment, and that's it. In 8 years, the family just didn't. There wasn't enough around the family that made it work. I mean, the young daughter had some comedic moments, but we
Injections.
but we didn't care about her. Like, even when she gets taken over by the demon and is doing crazy stuff, we're just kind of like, oh, that's funny. We didn't really care that it's happening or that she's, like, being possessed. Even the son banging his head on the pole, the post of his bed. It was like, oh, that sucks, but I don't really care.
But also there's no repercussions from it. Like, he didn't actually get hurt.
No.
You know.
He's, like, bleeding and stuff, and he's just, like, banging his head, but he's just completely fine. And there was just so much of the movie that there was just no heart to it. You know, the grandma was the only redeeming part of bringing some character or bringing something that's different to the film. And then even at the very end, we didn't even allow the dad to have a lasting sacrifice for his kids. Like, we took that away from him. And, like, the scene of her doing Morse code in the basement with the sarcophagus down there was emotional. Was like, oh my gosh, like, he's gonna have to be there forever, and his kids come down and talk to him and whatnot. But that sacrifice is forever, you know, until he dies or until they have to find someone new. And they took that away. It just felt like there was a lot of moments that were missed or glossed over, and we focused more on the horror side of it instead of the heart of it.
And yeah, instead of just the story. Like,
yeah.
Because the hook was interesting, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then having the kid be mummified and everything, like that was interesting. But then, like you said, once they get her back, then everything kind of unravels. And there were so many little plot holes, right? That just didn't make sense.
Oh man, like how we're at a funeral, a kid crawls through the roof, falls onto a dead grandma, is eating into her, licking up the embalming fluid, and some pastor's ear gets ripped off by the other child, and no police are called, no kids are taken from the house, everyone just leaves and accepts that this is like okay.
They're just going through a hard time, guys.
Yeah, like
let me just say though, the drinking up the embalming fluid, that made me gag both times watching. I knew it was coming, and it still made me gag.
So crazy. And yeah, that was the most frustrating part, is all these crazy things happen. Like the grandma falls out of the window, lands on the car and dies, gets ripped to shreds by wolves.
Coyotes.
They were definitely wolves, not coyotes in the movie, but they kept calling them coyotes. Another plot hole. And it was like nothing really happens. There was no consequences to these things. It was just like, it was like we're in Groundhog's Day, where everything kind of just restarts and we're like starting fresh from ground zero.
Even the dad making the sacrifice, like you said, there were no real repercussions because they took that away from him.
Yeah.
Which, hey, I'm all for families staying together, right? But it's a movie. And coming off of Evil Dead Rise, Lee Cronin sacrificed every main character in that. So I was expecting him to
have a lasting death.
Yeah, like something that made you feel something, right?
Yeah.
But he really didn't give it to us.
So there was quite a bit.
But I will tell you what did work for me. I want to know how your little piggies taste.
See, that didn't work for me at all.
That was like the highlight of the movie for me.
All right, let's play out hole number 8, and then we'll give our final ratings on hole number 9. Come on, freaking put some juice on those, huh?
All right, we're here at hole 9, and we're here to give our final review on Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
The Mummy. And we've lost track of the score, so the scores are going to be right here, so you know where we are. I'm pretty sure that I'm
still winning.
+2, and Toast is like even right now, I think, or +1.
Something like that,
Something like that. But
we'll review the footage.
so for final ratings, I have to give this thing a 1.7. I thought there was stuff that was okay, but overall I can't get over the character development. I can't get over the story itself, and because of that, it just makes me not care about the movie. Like, no matter how cool the shots there were, there wasn't anything cool enough where I was like, I want to go and watch that again. I want to watch that scene again just to see the camera work. You know, there was nothing like that, where we've seen some really great movies this year that there's multiple scenes where I was like, I want to study that particular scene itself. Yeah. But there wasn't anything in this one. Nothing special to me. 1.7.
I'm going to give it an even 2. Kind of similar feelings. Like, I enjoyed watching it, especially the first time I enjoyed watching it. The second time I did find myself a little bit more bored. And so it's not super rewatchable, I think. There's a lot of plot holes that other reviewer did not mention. They only mentioned things that made sense in the movie to me. But yeah, just an even 2, I think.
All right, well, let's play out hole number 9 and see how this thing finishes up.
Not my best, not my worst.
Warming up, warming up.
Right about the same spot as me.
That's what I'm talking about. To end the round with a freaking bird. All right. Boom. All right, so we're gonna have to review the footage to find out who exactly won, because I think that we might have tied or got real close with that freaking bird on the last one.
Crazy bird. Crazy.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about this format. We're probably gonna keep doing it just because it's fun.
Maybe not every time, but occasionally, especially during the summer.
Yeah.
So all those summer blockbusters, you let us know which ones you want to see on location.
All right, well, we'll see you in the next one.